Let me ask you a question. Why is technology such an integral part of our real estate industry today? I mean, think about it. You and I are in a relationship business, but yet technology seems to play this huge part of today's business. People always ask me, I am a real estate broker. I have been since the age of 18 at 1978, so you can figure out how old I am. But people always ask me, John, why is technology so important for you? What's been the big thing about technology in your business? And I always tell them, or I've thought about this, and there are two things. First of all, blueberries. And the second one is red leather chairs. I'm going to talk about both of these today and why they're so important for you as a real estate professional. But first, let's go back to May 20th, 2001. Even at that time, I feel like I'm a young real estate professional, and I have this call from some clients or customers. They were not clients at that time because I had nothing signed, but I had a call and they wanted me to come out to list this really big home. Now, I'm from a small community in Missouri, in southeast Missouri. We do not have the expensive homes and condominiums like you have here in Miami, Florida, but I had an opportunity to list the most expensive home in my area. It was right on the water. It was a beautiful property. And yes, they called 3 other brokers besides myself to give a presentation. So I go out, meet with the customers. I give them all of these cool technology tools that I'm going to provide if they list their property with me. I was telling them about some very creative, interesting things I was doing back in 2001. And I could tell their eyes just lit up. And they gave me the listing agreement. Now here's the really cool thing about this whole story. That home, the most expensive home on the premier lake in this development in southeast Missouri, sold in 1 week. Cash contract. I didn't even get to do any of the technology that I wanted to do. So here's what I want you to think about. And here's what I discovered. Technology maybe doesn't always sell the property, but technology can allow you to position yourself as a red leather chair, different than the competition. So we're going to talk today, and I'm going to share with you how you can be smart using technology and set yourself apart, okay? And I'm going to use the word SMART as what we call an acronym. So I will use the first letter of each word, or each letter in the word SMART, and we'll talk about technology today. But more importantly, how you can use some of these tools to make your life better. I want you to think about being different. That's a big part of technology. You have to be that red leather chair. You have to be different. So today I'm going to share with you social media technology tools. First, I want to say thank you to the Miami Realtors for such a great conference and for inviting me. Linda and I have been friends for a long time. And Teresa and I, believe it or not, we go way back to, she's from Missouri, and we used to go to Missouri Real Estate Commission educator meetings together. And I've known her, and I tell you what, you have a Jim and an AE. I think the world of her, and she does a great job. Thank you. All right, so let's get started. Oh, wait a minute. Let me say one quick thing. I love technology, and I'm a tech guy. And my wife gets mad at me because I'm like, honey, you can use technology for that. But maybe technology's not for everything.
Emma. Huh? Emma. Emma.
Every day it's getting on my nerves.
Emma.
Oh, I'm
Emma.
begging you, please.
Emma.
Leave me alone. Oh, you didn't go.
So we can't use technology for everything, right? So let's start with social media. Social media is a big deal. I started my online real estate school in January 2017. I taught real estate, pre-licensed real estate school. That's a school, and for our international guests, we call it pre-licensed, and it's for people who want to get a real estate license. And I had taught this for years in Missouri, and then just got tired of it. So in 2017, I launched my online real estate school, and when I got the approval, I did a Facebook Live video. I'd been at Inman Connect, and there was a gentleman there from Facebook, and he said, if you're not doing Facebook Live, you're really missing out. Sometimes Facebook Live can get as many as 5 to 10 times the viewers as a regular post. So I do this Facebook Live about my real estate school, and by 2 hours later, by 9 o'clock at night, I had 3,000 views. People were sharing the video. My mom, who's 81, by the way, or actually she's older than 81 now, but she's on technology, and she said, son, did you see how many people watched that? And I said, yes. I said, it was amazing. Now, I have a little app on my phone that's tied into my online school, so when someone buys a class, it rings like a cash register. The cash register was like cha-ching, cha-ching. And I'm telling you what, I learned that social media is big. It's a big deal. So here's what I want you to think about with social media. I just want you to be different. If you're posting the same way all the time and you're doing it a certain way, you might not be getting the results that you could if you could do it a little bit differently. At that same Inman Connect conference in New York, the gentleman from Facebook said this. He said, people are multitasking. I've watched it in this room today. I've seen people reading email on their phone, listening to the speaker, and doing work on their computer. It's just the world we live in. There's nothing wrong with that. But he said, you're missing out if you're just putting stagnant posts or posts that have no content or information, because the user's looking through the feed and they're going right past you. So how can you be different with your social media post? How can you stand out and really get noticed by everyone who's on social media? Well, there's a really neat app that I like called Spark. It's Adobe Spark. It's similar to Canva if you've used Canva, and it's like having your own graphic artist. Literally, all you have to do is replace pictures and text, and now you have these interactive posts in social media. Look at this. I can create landing pages. I can create what are called video stories. So now I'm adding photos and I'm adding video. But as the user goes through the social media feed, they say, wait, what's this? John's posted something about a home and it's interactive, and now they may stop on that post and look at it. So it works with your mobile phone, it works with your tablet, and it's an amazing program. And I'm telling you what, it has really increased the interaction I've had with my social media since I've started using it. There's a program called Canva that's very similar. It's free. Adobe Spark is free for a certain amount, but they're both very good programs. And here's what's very interesting about both of these. You can change your Facebook cover and customize or brand it with your company. You could change your LinkedIn cover, your YouTube cover, and it's all very just change the photos, change the text, and upload the photo. Really nice application called Adobe Spark. So I'd encourage you to check that out. And again, I just want you to think about the fact that you've got to be different. You have to be different. You cannot be like everyone else that's out there. LinkedIn. How can you be different on LinkedIn? I want to tell you, LinkedIn's huge. Microsoft recently purchased LinkedIn for about $26 billion and some change. Not a bad business to develop in your living room, is it? $26 billion you sell it for. And they have about 562 million users in 200 countries. Really big. Here's why you need to use LinkedIn. I have a friend named Carol from St. Louis. You can see Carol up here, her LinkedIn profile shows up at the top of a Google search. Now, why is your profile on LinkedIn so important? People are stalking you. How many of you have already stalked me? Some of you have probably already gone to Google and said, John Mayfield, who is this? People are doing that before you go out on a listing appointment. If your LinkedIn profile shows up before your main web page, that may be what they click on. And if you haven't updated that for quite a while, or keep it updated regularly, then you're missing out on some business. So Carol, now you can see here, right here is her website with Remax. There's her personal profile. So go out, keep your LinkedIn profile updated. And I want to give you one little tip here that you need to think about is you need to add a custom video to your LinkedIn profile. Why is that important? I'm going out on a listing appointment. Lady calls me, invites me out. I'd never met her in my life. I greet her at the door. She says, come in. And she mentions something about me as we come through the door. And I'm thinking, I've never met this lady before. How did she know that? And I just went on with the appointment, and then she said something else about me. And I'm thinking, this is weird because I've never met this woman. And she knows a lot about me. And she must have noticed that something was different. And she said, oh, I watched your video. That's why I called you. Did you know your About You page or About Us is the most visited page on your website after your homepage? You need to have a video on your homepage, and you need to also put it on LinkedIn. And here's the other point I want to tell you about a video on your page. I just did mine with my iPhone. You just saw it. I was at a conference, and there was a speaker there. His name was Patrick Almond. I'll never forget what Patrick said. I still remember his name. Patrick said something, and I sat there and I thought, John Mayfield, you've blown it. You've really blown it. Because I wasn't putting any videos online, and I should have been. But here's what Patrick Almond said. Done beats perfection every time. And I thought about that, and I thought, I need to start putting videos online. So, video's important. Make sure you do that and get those online and put one on your LinkedIn profile. Now, the second thing I want you to be sure and do is add your volunteer experience. People want to do business with people who have an interest like them. If you volunteer at the Pet Humane Society, or you volunteer at the food shelter, or there's something you're doing, you ought to put that on your LinkedIn profile. And here's why you need to keep your LinkedIn profile updated regularly. Because Microsoft wants you to use LinkedIn. They paid $26 billion. They want activity. And so now they're changing what we call the algorithm, or the results on how you get found on LinkedIn. And so the more that you recommend someone as a real estate agent or a professional or a service or a business, and the more you comment and the more things you do, the higher your LinkedIn profile will go. So add your volunteer service, update your profile on a regular basis. So important. And then finally, I want you to get involved in groups. Groups are so important. We have a lot of people from all over the world here today, and you can still network with these individuals after you leave Miami through LinkedIn. I had a gentleman who had a problem. He was in a group and he posted a problem he had, and I solved his problem. It was a technology problem. I knew exactly what was wrong. I told him how to fix it, and he and I connected and we started talking. Now, we were in a group, a real estate group. He posted a problem. I solved it. We now become connected and we stay in touch. He's from Poland, and he owns a real estate tech company, and they're sponsoring an event, and he said, "Would you like to come to Poland and speak at our conference?" I said, "I'd be thrilled to." I got to speak in Poland at a major conference and got paid, plus my travel expenses, because I hung out on LinkedIn in a group. So it's very important for you to do that. Now let's talk about Instagram. Over 1 billion people are on Instagram. I kind of went past that slide a little quickly. And by the way, that's a post that my daughter and I did with Adobe Spark. And we'll talk about this a little bit, but that's a picture. We just uploaded the picture, changed the copy, we posted it on Instagram. Over 1 billion members. Now I snoop, I'll be honest, I'm curious at what people are doing on their phones when I'm in the airport. I'm a tech guy, I'm a speaker. I want to know, are they on Facebook? Are they on Instagram? And Facebook's still popular, but I have to tell you, Instagram's knocking it out of the park right now. And they've even launched what's called Instagram TV, if you're not on that. I mean, it's just, there's so much noise out there. So Instagram's big. And I'm showing you Alicia Keys' Instagram page up here. And here's the problem with Instagram. You'll notice here that there's only one link, and that link that you put on Instagram will take you to whatever link you put there. And most of us put what? Our real estate website. Well, this is an app called Linktree, LINKTR.ee, Linktree. And with Linktree, what happens is if someone sees your Instagram post and they like what they see, and we're a curious society, right? The number one page people visit's the About Us page. Guess what people want to do here? They want to click on your link to find out more about who? You. And when they click on that, they normally go to your website. Well, with Linktree, I can have multiple destinations. So here, I could have someone purchase my Missouri real estate course. I could have them go to my website. I could have them download my podcast. Did you know with Linktree, if you had an open house, you can put a link to that open house, and then within Linktree, you can say, the open house ends on Sunday at 5 p.m. I want this link to come off of my Linktree at that time. It's an amazing tool, and it allows you to use Instagram in a much more deeper level for your business, and you've really got to check it out. And by the way, I'm just using the free version here, so there's no cost, but I am going to upgrade to the $6 a month version because I can brand that with my company's logo and so much more. So it's called Linktree. And don't forget about little apps like Layout, where you can add multiple photographs and put those up within your Instagram. So Instagram's huge, and I'm an old school social media person. That seems kind of hard to say, doesn't it? I was on Facebook right after it launched, and I've been on Twitter so long, I registered John Mayfield. So, I'm from old school social media. We didn't do hashtags back in the old school. We just posted stuff, and we were happy about it. But today, there's this thing called hashtags, and my daughters are always saying, "Dad, have you looked at hashtags such and such?" And I go to these and I laugh, and they're fun, and I realized hashtags are a big deal. I have a friend in Nice, France, and I help him and do some work. But in Nice, hashtag Love Nice is a huge hashtag. And so you want to include hashtags, and in Instagram you can include a lot of hashtags. Now today, I posted a picture of my friends from Chicago, and I put a bunch of hashtags. Miami real estate, Miami Beach, Miami realtors. Look what happened because people are searching. Literally within 10 minutes, I had 5 new people following me from Miami. 10 minutes. I'm like, I got to get a screenshot of that because that's how you build a tribe. That's how you build an audience. Now, I used to be proud of this. I have a Florida real estate broker's license, and then I was teaching in Florida, and the audience said, yeah, everybody has a Florida. No, they don't, but I was real proud of that. But guess what? What if I list a nice condo in Miami, Florida, and I want to post something on Instagram? I now have new followers right here in Miami that I might be able to network with and help get a property sold, and vice versa. They may post something, I might see it and say, I know somebody that would be perfect for that in France or in Taiwan, or my friends that I have in the Philippines who are looking to invest. So it can go both ways. So it's huge. So now the only thing I want to mention about social media, it takes a lot of time. I mean, how do you find the time for all of this? So I use a program called Hootsuite. It's free unless you want to go to the paid version. After my success with my Facebook Live and my real estate school, I went back to the paid version. So here's how Hootsuite works. It's one program you log into, and then you say to Hootsuite, I have an Instagram account, I have a LinkedIn account, I have a Twitter account, I have a Facebook personal account. Oh, and by the way, I have like 3 Facebook pages or groups I handle. And I don't want to have to go out and post that to all of those places. So I go to Hootsuite, post it one time, and Hootsuite sends it to all of those destinations for me. Here's the way Hootsuite works. Here's a video I did some live streaming, and I go out to Hootsuite and I tell Hootsuite, these are the accounts I want to send it to. So I can be specific about this. And then I go over here, add my information, and I come down here to schedule a time. By the way, Hootsuite will also auto-schedule for you. But here's what I want to tell you. When you're scheduling, Facebook, Instagram, you want to do it between 12 and 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. LinkedIn, before 7 in the morning and after 5. YouTube videos, you want to post those on Thursday and Friday. I watch this stuff and I study it, and there are specific times. Now, that's not to say you couldn't send something out in the morning, but I just want you to know you get more traction in the afternoon with certain types of posts and also on weekends. But guess what? I can click auto schedule, and Hootsuite already knows that, and it does all the work for me. Now, I know social media takes a lot of time. What you need to be doing is finding a good 15-year-old kid and saying, here's what I want you to do. I will be honest with you, I hired my social media out. It took me 40 years to figure out I need to be doing what I'm good at and what makes me money. But I have to have a place on social media. With Hootsuite, my social media person, and I won't tell you if they're 15 years old or not, because I work with them on it, but we do it all on Sunday, and it's all ready to go for the week. And then I go out and do little things throughout the week and look and comment. But I'm telling you what, social media is a big deal. Now, one thing I've learned with social media is repurposing your content. And I've shown this to a few of my folks who've been in the room, but I want to show you this because it's amazing, and it's taken my social media to a whole new level. So with repurposing your content, here's a video I did. We did a how to buy a military home, a VA, get a VA loan, and we used to do those live in my office, and we had great success. And I thought, why don't I do that online? I'll advertise on Facebook, and I'll tell Facebook, just show my ad to people who are military, non or active, and who are renting, and who live in this zip code. I did that, had 2 military people show up. They both rented, they both wanted to own a home. All I did was introduce the loan officer. He did the webinar, and boom, a couple of good leads, and we showed them how to get a VA loan. So now I have this video from YouTube, and I download it to my computer. We're talking about repurposing your content. In any kind of video editing software, here's your video and audio. If you right-click your mouse on that strip, you get a bunch of options. One option is called separate the audio and video. I thought to myself, that's interesting. I have an idea. So I told the software, yeah, separate the audio and the video. Make 2 tracks. Now I have a video track right here and the audio that you can see above. And I thought, I really don't need the video anymore because it's already on YouTube, right? So I highlight this video track, and then I right-click my mouse and I click delete. It gets rid of the video. Now I have 1 track, and it's an audio track. So I go up and I say, you know what, I'd like to just save this as an audio file, and I'll name it, and I'll put it on my computer, and I'll upload it, and I now have a podcast. I'm telling you what, my YouTube videos do pretty good, but my podcast, they're off the chart. I have as many as 175 people download my podcast in 1 week. I can put a video up on YouTube and maybe get 10 views or 12 views, but podcasts are big. And you can take this a step further. You now have an audio, so if you use Dragon Dictation, you can run it through Dragon Dictation and it will transcribe the text, and you have a blog. So now I've taken one piece of content, I've made a video, a podcast, and I have a blog for those folks who like to read. So, think about how you can repurpose. I can now take little pieces from that, post it on Twitter or Instagram, and send people right over so they can watch the whole part. Here's what you got to remember about social media, and I want to leave you with, and I want you to write this down. Consistency is key. At the National Speakers Association, we had a meeting in Dallas, our conference, and they had 3 young kids. They were all in their 20s. They all worked on Wall Street and different places, but they now are all self-employed millionaires because they have millions of followers. And one guy travels the world and just shows cool places to go visit and where to eat. One person talks about clothing. They're like really major social media people, and they're kids. And I remember the presenter said to them, if there's one piece of advice you could give our audience, there were 2,000 of us out there, what would you say to them? And I'm telling you what, all 3 of them, without missing a beat, said, oh, you have to do it every day. You have to be consistent. You have to do it daily. And so I'm going to be honest with you, it's tough for me to do it consistently. But if we really want to win with social media, you got to do some of the things I've shown you here, and you have to do it consistently. Okay. Why? You want to be that red leather chair. So kind of want to bring that back. So let's talk a little bit about marketing, the M, and how many in the room are using what's called Magisto? Any Magisto users? I ran across this at the National Speakers Association. A lot of speakers are using it, and it's a great little tool to take still photography and video to make a video. So let me show you how this works here.
I'm Dirk Kinley with Climb Real Estate Group, and today we're at 830 Alabama Street Unit B, and it is 2-bedroom, 1-bath, architecturally remodeled, full floor flat. The open concept living and dining area feature an updated chef's kitchen with stainless steel appliances by Viking, Miele, Genair, and Bosch. This home is great for entertaining. Boasts large windows, high quality finishes, designer hardware, selective applications of sumptuous marble. I mean, the solid hickory pecan flooring with radiant heating on the main level, big bonus here. There are 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom upstairs and a separate studio downstairs with a kitchen and a bathroom. The home is completed with in-unit laundry and deeded 1-car parking. I'm at 415-596-0010. That's 596-0010 and the 4 and 5. You can also send me an email at dirk@dirk.space. I look forward to hearing from you soon.
A really cool, classy video with still photography, some video, and you're able to add information on top of that. Really a nice little video. Now, I want you to watch this because it's not always about promoting properties. People are searching for information. They want to know things about an area before they move there. I thought the information Teresa had given us earlier about the number of people who move here without even coming here, and the number of people who only visited 3 times. So you could become a real integral part in some of these people who are searching Miami in your area by doing videos like this one.
We're in Pasita Park in Bernal Heights, one of 2 parks in Bernal. The other one is Holy Park Circle, which is up the hill. Also, if you go up the hill, you'll hit Cortland Avenue, which is another walking street with shops, restaurants, and bars. A few blocks this way, you're in the Mission. As you can see, Pasita Park's a gorgeous park. There's always lots of families, dogs here. There's a playground, and in Bernal Heights, we get great weather.
So you can use specific places in your area and do videos or even 360 videos. I've done some 360 photographs for Google in France, and literally within a matter of 6 months, I've had as many as 80,000 views. 80,000 views. It's out there and the web's there. Use it and position yourself with some neat things. Now, this is one of my favorite apps. The gentleman from Facebook told us, he said, people are multitasking and most people watch videos with their sound off. My 28-year-old daughter's next to me. She nudges me and says, Dad, I do that all the time. And I said, I do too. We're doing other things, but we're going through the Facebook. So this is only for Apple users, but it's called Clips, and I love it. It's one of my favorite apps.
Hi, it's John Mayfield. I'm using a very cool app called Clips that actually will take my voice and convert it to text.
So it will put the subtitles on your video while you record. I was recording that in Helsinki, Finland, in a hotel, and it was very noisy and it missed 2 words. It's called Clips, but sometimes, this is what I'm doing now, I shoot the video with clips in advance, and I'm going to show you another tool in a minute, and then I do a live Facebook, and it has the subtitles, but I'm not really live. I'm just pushing the video out with the clip with the subtitles on there. So really neat app. You can share it with folks, and I use it a lot. Now, if you have a YouTube channel, believe it or not, you have your own live TV channel. So you can do some really cool things with YouTube. I was speaking in Sarasota, Florida, about 1.5 years ago, and I finished my presentation. This lady came up to me and she said, I know someone I have to introduce you to. He owns a television station here in Florida, one of the largest ABC affiliates. And she said, you'd be perfect for him. I said, well, I'd like to meet him. About a week later, this man calls me and says, can you fly back to Sarasota? I want to bring you and your wife down. I want to talk to you. So I said, sure. And so my wife and I make the arrangements. I go to the television station. I had a suit and tie on. I quickly discovered the people who work at the television station, They only have the jacket, the shirt, and the tie, their shorts and flip-flops on down, because they're behind the, you don't see the lower part. So they all thought I was there for a job interview, I guess, because they weren't happy to see me there. But anyway, I'm there. I meet this manager of the station. We're walking through the station. He said, "John, stop. See this television station?" And we're looking around, and he said, "I have millions of dollars invested in this television station." And he looked at me and said, "You can do this from your living room today." And I thought about that, and he shared with me the danger report for television stations. We know about the danger report for real estate companies from Stefan Swanepoel. Here's the danger report for television stations. Everyone's getting rid of cable. My 2 daughters in their late 20s, they don't have cable. Why have cable? They're streaming everything off TV. So it really opened my eyes to how you could use YouTube and do some interesting things with your own television channel. When you have a YouTube channel, you have a little link that you can embed on your website, and you can actually go live with a TV program. And here's the really cool thing. When it's over with, it's recorded, and so people who come to your website can rewatch the video. Now, let's think outside the box. Couldn't you have your own Miami TV weekly recap of what's going on in the market? Couldn't you showcase listings from your company? Couldn't you, if you're a broker or a manager, do training and education? This is me doing my weekly live streaming sessions for my real estate school students, which is what I do. My students log in to my web address, which is called helpmepasstherealestateexam.com. And on Thursdays, occasionally, every other Thursday at 8 p.m., I actually go live, and my students can watch me, and I can actually go to the board and write, and it's an amazing tool. Now, just a couple of, so you can see, I actually built a studio. I have 3 different studio locations in my basement. I do a lot of my live streaming right here. Just put a bookcase up and a plant, and I go live, and it's, all right there. We need to think about how we can leverage this. There are apps like this one called Live Leap that will allow you to push your video out to all of your social media channels. And then I love this one here. It's called Switcher Studio, and it allows you to actually have control over various cameras. So I have a camera on a tripod here, another camera on my desk. I have my computer monitor hooked in, and my iPad is the control center through Switcher Studio, so I can be like the control person and go between cameras, the computer screen, or my iPad to write on it. And it's like I literally do have my own television studio, and I pay $24 a month for that. But I can do live streaming on Facebook, on YouTube, and I'm telling you, consumers would love for you to offer a television show that they could watch weekly or monthly about what's going on in your marketplace or in your office. So it's called Switcher Studio. It's a really cool tool. Now, this is one I've shown a lot, and this is one of these tools that helps me get listings. It's called Flip Builder. And it allows you to create an interactive magazine. So with Flip Builder, if you can create what is called a portable document format, a PDF, which, by the way, you use CoreLogic, I use CoreLogic. When you print out your flyer from the MLS, that's a PDF. Now you could create your own homes book and embed this right onto your website. And I literally, this is one tool where I took a high-end property, a farm, 400 acres. I created a little digital magazine, put it on my website, and a gentleman from Texas saw the information, called me up, drove up, and bought that farm. And it was literally off of this magazine here. So really cool things that you can do with video and with Flip Builder. And again, they may not sell the property, but if you're going in to get a $4 or $5 million or a $10 million, or you're trying to hook up with a developer, you need to bring some tools to show them that you're a red leather chair. You're not like everyone else that's out there. So very quickly, I'm going to go through some of these kind of quick. I'd love to spend a morning with you on how to attract clients, because that's really where it's at. And I love to discuss all of these topics I could talk about in more greater detail. But I show this picture here because many of your websites, that's what it's like. I grew up in the era of real estate. You know, I've had my license for 40 years. When we would run an ad, people would call us or they'd come in the office and we were there, right? Today we have websites. Somebody's on your website, they have several $1 million in cash, and they just left. And there's a 70% chance they'll never come back to your website. He's got his website up and going good. I'm just picking on him because he's on the front row. But I drive home that point to say, if you're not getting their name and email address, they're gone and you may never get them back. So we've got to figure out ways that we can create what I call lead magnets, to create content to be able to get the name and the email address so that we can stay in touch with them. Many of us, and I'll put myself in that category, have tried to fish like this, and people are just coming to our website and they're like, I'm not interested in that, and they just go on. But there's much more to that. Once we get the lead, we've got to keep the value proposition going so that we can convert the sale. I mean, it's all about keeping them moving up the ladder. So again, it's a little more complicated, but I want to show you a couple of tools I use and I've been very successful for me, is Leadpages. This is one where I want to know what your home's worth. Here's one. My wife and I want to move to Florida, and I just searched how to buy a second home in Florida, and I found this in one of the top searches. And it's a free ebook, but to get the ebook, I have to give her what? My email and my name. So it's all about attracting leads and funneling them through. If you don't have instant messaging on your site, you need to do that. It's been huge for me. I get more conversations with people just from my messaging. And by the way, Live Chat ink that I use also works on my Apple Watch. And so I can be out and my watch comes up and I've talked to people right from my watch. So very cool. And then we have to retain customers. And this is an app I found that's really cool. It's called Cultivate. Now, I met somebody in the room here, and this has been a great networking event. But I met someone in the room, and she said to me, she gave me her card, and she said, I'd like to talk to you about that in 3 months. Well, with Cultivate, when you meet somebody, you actually put them in, and then I could say, when do I want to get back in touch with this person? You're networking with a lot of people here. With Cultivate, it will remind you to follow up and stay in touch with these people. I've been using this app and it's amazing and I love it a lot, and you can put some notes in, but it's a free little app. And don't forget your YouTube. I wanted to show this because if you have the YouTube app on your phone, if you select the little video camera up there, I can actually hit that, tell it I want to record a video, make it unlisted, and now I'm actually using my YouTube app and I'm not going through BombBomb, which is a great program, but it's $48 a month. People love this. And then I just send them the link right there with the video that I've made, and it gives it a little more personal touch. Grammarly, wonderful app. I use this a lot. It finds out if I've made any grammatical errors. It reminds me in any program, and I can correct those. And it also works on your phone. And so if you do voice to text like I do a lot, it will pick up those grammatical errors and help you discover that as well. A couple of time-saving tools very quickly. I just got this. I've had LiveScribe for a long time, but they've come out with a new pen, and I'm telling you what, this is an amazing tool, and I've been using it while I've been here at the conference. When I take notes, it's actually showing up on my phone. So these are notes I took from Alexandra's presentation with Greece, and then I just hit send it to Evernote. It sends the handwriting in a PDF, but it actually transcribes your text. Now here's what's really cool. I can also hit the record button down here, and if I want to find out what did she say about 80% of Greece, all I have to do is click on the 80 and it'll start playing the audio from that part. Think about this when you're on a listing appointment and you're in the kitchen and you write kitchen and the owner's telling you a lot of information and you've gotten their permission to record because you don't want to miss any important information. And now you can go back and listen to that and be able to find out exactly what was said. So really neat little app. I love Notability. It's one of my favorite apps that's out there. It works with my iPad Pro. And then Wunderlist is fun. It actually allows me to create task or to-do list, and I can bring part of my team in. So my good friends from France over here, I have a friend in France, and he and I have a calendar. I can add things to the list, and it shows up on his phone in France, and he knows he needs to take care of that. And if he checks it off, it rings my phone and checks it off, and he can put a task on there. And I have tasks for my wife, and so I put tasks on there. They show up on her phone, and now we're working to get things done as a team, and it's free. I like free things, don't you? And it's a really cool little app. And then here's one thing and I'm wrapping up here, but here's one thing I've discovered after 40 years. Gratitude is so important, isn't it? Being thankful. This is a little app, and I love this. When I get up in the morning, sometimes I look through my photos. You know, not too long ago, I was looking through, and I'd taken a picture of my dad's tombstone when I was out there, because my wife put some flowers on it, and I wanted my mom to be able to see what it looked like. And so I added that picture, and I just said, you know, it asked you, what are you grateful for? And I said, you know, I'm really grateful I had a great dad who was really a good dad. And then, you know, you say what you're grateful for, and then you add what do you want to do today to make today special? One day in my 5-minute journal app, because I love this app, I said, I'm going to call 2 people today. You know, we kind of hate to call people but we need to call people, right, on our sphere of influence. So I call this lady. I wanted to call 2 people. I called this lady and she said, oh, John, I'm so glad you called. She said, you know, I'm having a really bad day. And she told me what was wrong. And I thought, I had no idea my phone call would make such a difference in her life. I can tell you what, I can lay down and in the middle of the afternoon for 30 minutes and just have a time of meditation and being grateful, and my phone will ring and somebody will want to list a house. It's almost better than prospecting. You know, you really need to be grateful every day. So I just want to remind you that that's something we need to do. Now, I want to just kind of wrap up with 2 points. I told you blueberries kind of enlightened me about technology. So I've been in real estate my whole life. In 2006, I was kind of burned out, and I sold my office, went to work for a bank, and I thought, man, this is going to be great. I get to work for a bank and get a regular paycheck, and, you know, life will be great. And I didn't realize the bank in 2006 and 2007, we had this banking crisis that they were on what's called the watch list, and I ended up unemployed. As you can see, I signed a non-compete clause, and my wife and I owned a pick-your-own blueberry blackberry farm, and that's the house we built. We're $1 million in debt. I have no job, a non-compete clause, and the economy's bad anyway. As Steve Martin would say, he's a comedian in the U.S., hey, we're having fun now. It wasn't that much fun. So anyway, you know what? My wife and I sold everything we had. And it's just stuff, right? You can replace stuff. And that's what we did. Because we had this late spring freeze and we lost our entire crop. And so I kind of learned that you have to practice, you have to be thankful. What's interesting, I was looking for a graphic called I Quit, and I found this graphic. I normally open up with, on April 7th, 2007, my life was completely turned upside down because that's the day we had the blueberry freeze. That started all of that. So, sometimes people want to quit. And I was doing a presentation in San Diego, California, and a lot of people in the room, and I felt like a comedian who was telling jokes. No one was laughing. And when I was finished, all of these people wanted to talk to me. And there was a man from France there who said, I'm bringing you to France to speak. And I said, that would be wonderful. And he called me 2 weeks later. He brought me to France. I don't know if he knew what was going on in my life, but he said, why don't you stay here and work for a while? I mean, my wife and I had sold our home, sold our stuff. We were living in an apartment, I jokingly say, in LA, Lower Arnold, Missouri. In Missouri, that gets a big laugh, okay? And a guy sang Elvis Presley songs at 2 a.m. It's a true story. So we go to LA, or we go to Nice, and he puts us in an apartment, and I love France. It's my favorite place in the whole world. I mean, it's just, there's beautiful places out there, but I fell in love with France. And and this was my view out of the apartment. But one day I'm reading this book called Serendipity by Marcus Bach, and this was the view, and I took a picture of this off our apartment, but this is what I read that day, and this is what I want to leave you with, a couple of quick things. Sometimes we get so wrapped up in going for our goals in life that we miss all this great stuff that's going on around us. And I discovered there's a lot of really cool things that go on every day, and we should be grateful for that and think about that. And I wanted to share that with you for this reason. We are a service business. I've shown a lot of technology, and technology can help you be a red leather chair and be different. But at the end of the day, people need our help. A lot of people want to buy a home. There's still a lot of people out there who lost homes. In some countries, there's a lot of people that would give anything to just own a home. And we have to be conscious and help pull those people up and remind them of that. And I also wanted you to know that if there's someone in the room where you're just struggling and you've had some junk going on, don't quit. I thought I was in the deepest, darkest tunnel, and yet there was other things at the end of that. So I want to end with this video because I don't want you to ever quit, okay?
The 600-meter underway. Heather Dornan in Minnesota finished second in this event a year ago. She was in lane 4.
And Dornan is probably going to be your favorite. She actually won the NCAA championships in 2006 in the 800, but she only won one Big Ten championship in the 2 years.
3 laps in this event, 600 meters, 3 times around the 200-meter track here at the field house.
What a bold move by Fawn. She's looking very confident, and the Penn State runner is just running amazing today. She did win her heat in the 400, but ended up taking 4th overall.
That's Fawn Dorr moving into the lead, a sophomore from Penn State. Dornan running second.
Dornan last year scored 23 points for the Golden Gophers in their Big Ten championship, so they're really relying on getting a lot of points from her this weekend, and she's just coming by Fawn Dorr now in the home stretch, heading into the bell lap.
Oh! Dornan falling down, gets up quickly, but that's going to cost her. Lucky she wasn't injured.
Her teammate just went to the front, though, so they may be able to recover from that. And Dornan is flying down the backstretch.
She is catching up.
She is going to catch Fawn Dorr, and she may catch the leader.
Wow.
But she's got Fawn.
This is a gutsy effort by Dornan. Can she pull it off? She's moved into 3rd.
So, in closing, be smart with technology, set yourself apart, do some really cool things, and I thank you for allowing me to be here, and I want you to be a red leather chair. Thank you.